everyone, and welcome to Soul Reconnection. My name is Maitreya, and today I'm going to be talking all about the solar plexus. So the solar plexus, it holds a masculine energy, and it also holds a very fire activated energy. So it's our ability to act, it's our ability to react. The energy in itself is all to do with our vitality and our life force. Like, this is where you will feel your energy. So if you feel like your energy is depleted, you definitely need to look into your solar plexus and see if there's any imbalances and blockages in that center, because that could be blocking your energy or blocking your ability to feel energized. So the inner sun, why is it called the inner sun? So the English language is extremely bastardized, and you can find similar words that mean different things but sound exactly the same. And one of these, or two of these words, would be sun and sun. You've got the sun outside, the sun that beams down heat, is able to, create abundance. And then you've got your son, which is a boy child. Now those words sound exactly the same, but obviously they're spelled differently. But their connection is very, very connected. It's not by coincidence that those words are exactly the same. So if we look into the sun in itself is an electrical charge. And so if you look at sperm is also an electrical charge. So if you look at sperm is also an electrical charge, where it's able to come into the egg and it creates an electrical charge to create life. That's what sperm does. That's what the sun does. So if you look into a practice called parthenogenesis, which was an ability that women had prior to our fallen state. If you look into Wonder Woman is a perfect depiction of parthenogenesis. This is where women are able to impregnate themselves by themselves without a man being present. And the way that they were able to do this was through the sun. So they would literally bask out in the sun and the sun would be able to create an electrical charge which will create life. So when you look into things like the Immaculate Conception, so I'm not really going to go too deep in the Bible. I'm not a Christian. I have to keep stating that, but there are some things that have a scientific base. So after exploring our sacred space, which is our sacral chakra, we begin to come into our solar plexus, which allows us to almost sit up and begin to apply some discipline to our lives. Like, this is where we can be most disciplined. If you find that you don't have the ability to maintain discipline in your life, then you have some solar plexus imbalances that you need to look into. So within the solar plexus, this is where we solidify everything that we've begun to explore and expose ourselves to within the sacral chakra. So it's important for these lower chakras to be balanced, because if they're not, then they have to feed into the other chakras, and this is where imbalances are created, because there's chakras that's having to overcompensate for other chakras that are not able to do what they need to do. So as I mentioned before, the solar plexus is our inner sun. This is the home of our self-esteem and our self-efficiency. So if you find that there's imbalances here, then there's clearly some imbalances and some disconnection to your soul that doesn't allow you to express it as authentically. People that have very bold characters and that are able to express themselves well and confidently, they have very solid solar plexuses. So it's important for us to really have our solar plexus all together, because that's where we're most able to shine. So if you find that you're lacking with your self-esteem and your ability to really go forward and achieve in life, then maybe need to look into your solar plexus. So the solar plexus is our inner sense of our personal power and our authority. So let me give an example. So if someone had gone through sexual abuse, and you find that there's energy that's trapped within your sacral chakra, the emotions, the pain of everything is still trapped within there. The person that did this to you still has their cord attachments to your sacral chakra. This will then influence your self-esteem and your ability to express yourself in the world, because you're still suppressed by your sacral chakra and your solar plexus doesn't have enough foundation to begin to shine. So if you find that you're having power struggles and you don't have the ability to really step into your power, or even begin to guard yourself with people that may be very domineering or try to dominate you, this is your ability to begin to stand up for yourself and speak up for yourself as well. So this is where we also stimulate our ability to become spiritual warriors. Again, that's that fire energy. So we learn to take control of our lives and take control of the energy that we want to express towards the world, and learn to do it unapologetically because we're fully grounded and fully solid within our understanding of self. The solar plexus is also linked to the identity. With it being linked to the soul, your soul holds the codes for your identity. So if you're really tuned into your solar plexus will begin to shine, and you'll begin to really take control of that and really own that power within yourself. So this is also a space where we recognize our own personal and internal strengths. If you find it difficult to begin to, speak good about yourself and even find things good to say about yourself, because that can be a very, very difficult thing. It can be really easy to list out a massive list of all your weaknesses and all the things that you're not good at. But it's often very difficult to identify what are the things that you're very strong at and that you're very, very good at. If you don't begin to own your connection to your inner sun, to your inner soul, this is when you can have the tendency to feel more deflated or just constantly attract situations that make you seem like you're a victim. This is where you get stuck to victimhood. And that's a very deep thing for us to really acknowledge within ourselves. And this is something I had to acknowledge within myself. This is something that I only really got a light of at the beginning of this year. And I've been working really strong to really not allow that to be a blockage in my life. Like, victimhood plays out on so many different levels, and it's a very attractive place to be, because being a victim, you can get a lot of attention, and that's oftentimes a lot of the time what victims are seeking. And I want to be very careful about how I speak about this, because I want to do another video on this specifically, and I know that it's going to be very triggering. But if we want to begin to heal, we have to begin to be real about ourselves and be real with how we victimize ourselves. It's such an easy trap to get trapped into, because something could come up, oh, automatically I'm a victim. Like, I'm really learning how to really purge that aspect out of myself. So when situations come up, I don't automatically bring myself into victim state. I literally have to keep telling myself, I'm not a victim, I'm not a victim. Because you holding yourself in a victim state doesn't allow you to act, because you're a victim, So you have to begin to rip yourself away from your attachment to your pain, because it can become very comfortable, and sometimes we can get trapped there for a very long time, and then you don't want anyone to burst your bubble, because like I said, it's very comfortable being a victim. But this is something we have to address, and I've actually prepared a whole victimhood series that I've literally had sitting down on my laptop because I'm afraid to begin to really go through it, because I know people are going to be triggered, and I might get a few dislikes on my channel, and some people just start chatting some foolishness, but it's something that does need to be spoken about. I'm just trying to build myself up to it. So if you don't take the opportunity to own your solar plexus, someone will own it for you. So this is why it's important to reclaim that energy within yourself. So when people are being too controlling or too domineering, this is when we need to stand up for ourselves and be like, no. I recognize my sovereignty. I recognize my own divinity, and you ain't just about to come and walk all over it. Like, that's what having a solid solar plexus is knowing your power, standing in your power, and being able to express your power. Because there's one thing in begin to know your power from your lower chakras, your root chakra, but there's another thing being able to act it out and bring it into your everyday life. So it's important to pay attention to your solar plexus, because this will give you an indication of your level of energy, your level of vitality, if you're bursting with life, if you've got a lack of motivation. Oftentimes, your solar plexus is directly linked to your mental health, and also your energy levels are so your energy levels and that level of vitality, that in itself can have a massive impact on your mental health. So I always look to the state of the solar plexus to see what's going on there. Is it overactive? Is it underactive? This is where a lot of perfectionist traits can come in, and a lot of people who work hard that don't know where to stop. That in itself can be a solar plexus imbalance, because you've got all this energy to give, but you don't know how to balance it. You've got all this fire, but maybe you need to kind of add a bit of water in it to tone it down. So you can have a lot of fire, but you know, it's all about having balance. So, you know, being able to connect to your more feminine sides, because if your solar plexus is overactive, you're going to have an extreme kind of masculine approach to things. And I'll go into that a little bit later as well. So the solar plexus is located just above the navel and just below the rib cage. So with it being connected to our willpower and our ability to achieve, our self-esteem, our raw emotions, and our self-discipline, is also related to our metabolic and our digestive system. So if you find that you're not balanced within this center, you can find that your weight can end up fluctuating. You can put on weight, lose weight, and just don't understand what's going on. And that's happened to me a few times. So when you're not balanced within this center, you can find that your weight may fluctuate, like you'll put on weight or you'll lose weight, and there's no explanation for why that's happening. And that has happened to me a lot, which I've definitely noted towards solar plexus imbalances. When I find myself very active, when I find myself like fully like integrated in my purpose, and I'm happy and I'm really going for it, you'll find that I'll just lose weight, which is what has been happening since I've had my baby. When I had my baby, I put on weight that day. Like, I didn't put on weight in my pregnancy. I put on weight the day that I gave birth. And it's because I was having so much issues with regards to my self-esteem. Like, I just had a baby. I was lost. Like, I didn't know I didn't know what had happened. And I just put on all of that weight within a day. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I came out of theater and I turned to my partner. I was like, look at my hips. Look at me. My legs were like tree trunks. My hips, my God, it was like a bridge. Like, it was crazy. Like, I don't know what happened, but it's solar plexus imbalances. So some of the key issues that the solar plexus addresses is your personal power, your sense of fear, your anxiety, your opinion formation. So if you find yourself really opinionated and not able to allow people to speak and express their opinions, if you're very stuck in your opinions and not willing to see other perspectives, this is a solar plexus imbalance. And it's also linked to introversion. So if you have a balanced solar plexus, you'll find yourself able to be a bit more sociable, be out, like be a bit of a spark. But if it's not, you'll find that you just want to stay at home and you don't want to go anywhere. You don't want to bring the qualities of your sacral chakra into the world, your sense of connection. So if you haven't caught my sacral chakra video, definitely catch that out. So physically, the solar plexus governs digestion. Mentally, it governs your personal power. Emotionally, it governs your sense of expansiveness. And spiritually, it governs all matters of growth. Some of the other things it's connected to, so it's your sense of presence, being able to have a sense of presence that can affect the world, your sense of power, your sense of charisma, your ability to command, your ability to understand your own inner commands. There's something I really want to go into in regards to commands and understanding your subconscious commands, because there's something that's really been coming to me a lot. And a lot of this has been linked to like your subconscious language, some of the things that you express. Like, for example, when I'm talking, there's certain things that I may say repeatedly, and that definitely links to something, but I'm not going to expose myself right now. I will expose myself when I feel a bit ready. Right now, I still feel a bit heated. It's nothing too bad, but it's just being aware of your subconscious language. So if you keep saying like, or if you keep saying, you know, or certain words that you keep saying, that definitely says something about your subconscious mind and your subconscious commands. And if we're not aware of what our body is subconsciously commanding, then we can't command anything in our physical reality, because there's still a lot of subconscious commands going on. There's still a lot of things in the background. I think I said that in my Uranus retrograde video, talking about the things in the background. And you need to, you know, if you look at a computer and if you've got so many tabs on and so many things running in the background, your computer is not able to operate at its optimum. And your solar plexus would literally be representative of your internal computer. It's linked to your ability to regulate your energy. It's linked to your ability to work hard, your sense of effort, your ability to your ability to take direction and even direct yourself, your sense of leadership, having leadership of yourself and governance over your own body, and being able to lead other people as well. So some of the blockages that are linked to the solar plexus is having excessive control and authority over your environment and people. So if you find that you have to be a control freak and you have to be controlling everyone and you always have to be in control, check that solar plexus. Feeling helplessness, again, that's linked to victimhood. Feeling irresponsible. If you're always obsessed with the minute details, there's always like some Virgo mode, like extreme Virgo. Really irritates me. Like, having detail is good, but if you're just really obsessive about detail, always having to be checking someone or checking something, like, calm down, man. Live life. Seeing life as losses and gains whilst losing sight of the bigger picture. So you definitely always have to have that bigger picture in mind. Manipulation, having a lack of clear direction or ambition, anger or control issues, rigidity. Okay, if you find yourself can't get out of structures or can't or won't allow yourself to go through the process of transformation, solar plexus blockages. Victim mentality, neediness, lack of self-esteem and direction. And some of the physical conditions that are connected to solar plexus blockages. So the digestive system, ulcers, diabetes, hypoglycemia, constipation, nervousness, colitis, poor memory, weight problems, arthritis, pancreas problems, liver or kidney problems, anorexia, bulimia, hepatitis, intestinal tumor, colon disease. And this is just to name a few. I've just noted a few things in here. Some of the things that let you know that your solar plexus is overactive. So if you're very dominating, if you're very controlling, overly aggressive, and you always need to be right. If you can never say that you're wrong, and if you can never say sorry, you need to check that solar plexus. Temper tantrums, feeling arrogant, hyperactive, sensitive to criticism, frequent panic attacks, being judgmental or overly critical, being overly demanding, having extreme emotional conditions. And this is why I said this is definitely linked to mental health conditions, anxiety, panic attacks, all of those types of things. Stubbornness, procrastination, being a workaholic, being a perfectionist, being a control freak, being OCD. All of those types of things are linked to the solar plexus being overactive and needing to be balanced. Some of the things that let you know that your solar plexus is underactive: having doubt or mistrust towards people, worrying what other people think about you, having a tendency to run on autopilot. If you can't take control of your life, and if you're just almost sitting down, allowing all of these astrological elements to come and influence you and direct your life, and you're not actually taking control and trying to take your life where you feel like it needs to go, and you just run on autopilot, you need to activate your solar plexus, because that is a soul disconnection, and you need to step into soul reconnection. A lack of emotional intelligence, not feeling good enough, constantly seeking approval, having low energy, having a weak will, being easily manipulated, having low self-esteem, poor digestion, passiveness, unreliability, easily overwhelmed by thoughts and feelings of others, feeling of powerlessness, especially when under pressure. So if you feel like every time you're under pressure, you just crumble, any immediate sense of pressure and struggle just sends you off of the loop. And I've often struggled with that, and now this is why I'm really, really paying attention to my solar plexus. This is why I get so much fire just driving through situations. It doesn't affect me anymore, because I'm like, I'm just driving through anyway. So when the solar plexus is balanced and it's open, you can be a source of pleasure. You can be very creative. You can express your creativity well. Fluid, you're very versatile, you're very flexible. You're healthy, physically healthy, emotionally healthy, spiritually healthy. You're probably exercising a lot as well. Exercise is definitely linked to the solar plexus. You're extremely inspired. You're very desirable. You know what your desires are, and you know how to attract your desires to you. And all of this energy also plays out in your relationships as well. So again, this is your solar plexus. You bring this into the world, you bring this into your relationships. The chakras below, it's just about exploring and learning how to connect to these within self. From the solar plexus, I feel like this is where everything becomes a bit more expansive. When you're exploring your solar plexus, you can ask yourself some of these questions. So how much energy do I have to bring to the world? Am I always feeling tired? Am I always feeling exhausted? Just feel like I just can't get up in the morning, like I don't want to get up in the morning? Do you feel like you're exerting too much effort or not enough effort? Do you struggle with meditation, the ability to still your mind? Do you feel like you can be successful? Do you feel like you can achieve your dreams? Do you have a dream to achieve? Have you set a dream for yourself? Have you set goals for yourself? Are you disciplined within yourself? Is there a lack of discipline that needs to be upped? Do you feel like you can conquer the world? Like, are you, like a roaring lion? That's what I see this inner sun as, our solar plexus as, like that roaring lion, that ability to just roar and let your presence be known. Feeling like you're in power of yourself and you're in control of yourself, rather than someone else having control or power over you. And being able to understand if you struggle with jealousy is very much linked to this chakra, because if you don't have a sense of your own worth and what is it that you have to offer the world, then you can be jealous of what someone else is trying to offer the world because you're not meeting your bar. So in meditation, some of the things that you may want to explore is, what are the things that have bruised your ego? What are the thoughts that you have about yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you not like yourself? Because another thing as well is that a lot of people want to be in relationships, but you don't even like you. So how do you expect anyone else to like you? Like, this is where we definitely need to tap into that solar plexus. So definitely pay attention to the thoughts you have about yourself and the perceptions that you try to receive from other people. This is also about understanding your sense of worth. So definitely ask, like, what is your sense of worth? Like, how do you feel about your sense of worth? Do you feel valuable? Do you feel like you have value to offer the world? Do you have a healthy sense of your personal identity? Or is it really just, almost on steroids? Is your ego on steroids? Do you have a healthy ego, or is it just, is it off on one? Can you easily make decisions, or are you constantly finding yourself stuck? Are you constantly, just in a place where you just feel lost, where you just feel like you're Alice in Wonderland? Do you feel like you can make decisions that can move you out of places? Are you full of energy, or are you feeling empty? A lot of the time we're trying to give out our energy to people. Our cups aren't even, there isn't even a touch of water in there. And it's another thing that can come up with this as well, with regards to feeling full or empty. If your cup is not full, what are you giving out of that? So that means that you need to stop doing things for people when your cup is not full. You need to stop doing readings if your cup is not full. You need to stop giving your energy if your cup is not full. You need to stop helping people if your cup is not full. If you can't help yourself, how are you in a position to help anyone else? Pluck the speck out of your own eye, and then you can take it out of someone else's. So these are just a few of the things that you can begin to ask yourself. A lot of these things are in my intuitive chakra healing course, where it actually takes you through the process to begin to heal and activate your chakras. There's also meditations included in the course, and these meditations are off, like they are really, really in depth. They're really deep, and I've had so much feedback from them so far. So I'm definitely excited for you guys to begin to experience the solar plexus. So if you would like the intuitive chakra healing course, you can go over to my website, which is www.soul-reconnection.com. And if you go to the Inner Realms tab, you'll see the course there. There's so much courses I have coming for you guys, and I'm so excited to begin to share it with you. So check this one out first. I put this one out first because this is like foundation. This is like if you really want to know how to heal, this is definitely the place to start. There's so much that comes out in this, and I've created this course not in a traditional way. This is like a fusion of so many different things. It's a fusion of energy awareness. It's a fusion of shadow work. It's a fusion of self-development as you're setting goals for yourself and you're learning how to manifest from these centers. So this course is really, really in depth, and it's on sale currently at 50% off. So definitely catch that before the deal finishes, because it's not going to be up for too long. Well, the course will be there, but the price won't be at the same price. So I'm hoping that this course resonated with you. And of course, I will see you guys on the other side.